Welcome to the Drako Ticket Showcase. This can be a long style video as it's going to go over quite a lot of features that Drako Tickets offers. And we're going to start on the dashboard page. So here we have a number of widgets. These widgets are driven by filters based on ticket data, such as the status, the category, and the person assisting pretty much. So over here we have a card widget. It displays a simple number based on a filter or criteria. So open tickets, we have 70. I can click on it and I can see a ticket here. If I scroll down and click on one of these, that's a bit more content. I can see the requester's email, who it's assigned to, their group, and the status, and a number of other things. I can also see there's a linked article. So once the ticket's resolved, you can link articles and also help improve this filtering system, which I'll show you later on, as well as if a technician goes and looks at this ticket in the history, they can then see this article on how to resolve it. So in this ticket, we can see the original request, we can see our support agent typing, we can see the history for any data that's or actions that happen within the ticket, such as assigning it to a person, changing the group, the status, priority, the category, and so on. We can click on reply and it'll bring up an email editor. By default, the to field is going to pick up the requester's email. I can choose to include CC and BCC, or I can just add an internal note. Internal notes are only visible by staff. And up here we have a few other options, which I just noticed I need to make it a bit more responsive. Alright, and every single point is clickable. So I can go on networking, and I can see all of the networking tickets by team. I go to customize, I can click on one of our widgets, and we can see a few things here. So it does look quite scary, but it is quite simple once you get working with it. So we can give a name to our widget, and then we can add filters. So if I click on add filter, we'll go to status is open. So open tickets is our widget. I've made a filter saying status is open. I want to display on a number card, and then it's going to be a single number. Save changes. And then it displays all of our open tickets. Within this view as well, I can resize my widgets by just dragging. I can change the height of my widget by dragging it once again. And then once I'm happy, I can click done. And there is also an auto button. Let's say you don't want to filter or change the size of your widgets. Moving on, there's a search button up here. You can type keywords. It will search the system, looking for anything that relates to words. So you can see here it will return a number of results. Okay, moving on, we have our ticket view. So ticket view is kind of the core of the system. It's where everything's managed. So you can see a number of things here. Once again, we have views. These views are filter based. So you can create a new view here. It can either be private or public. Private is available to you, public is available to everyone. We can add a filter. So once again, you have this status is part. I can go on hold or resolved. I can then add a new filter saying subject contains laptop, and I'll give it a name, call it test, create view, and it's created the view under here. So you can see it has a padlock because it's a private view, and you can see it's returned two views there, two tickets, sorry. I can star the view, it then brings it up here. I can go into the ticket, and I can see it's brought me here to the ticket. Let's say I change the category. It will suggest categories for me to change it to, so hardware, and in this case it's going to be desktop laptop. Everything I've just done is also recorded in the history section for auditing purposes. Right, we'll next move on to ticket creation. It's quite a nice simple form. So we're raising a default request. I need help turning on my laptop. So I haven't actually made an article for this, so you won't see it on the right here. Submit a request. And it's now made our request. Nice and simple, easy to understand. I can also create requests based on templates, so a new starter template, for example. I can pick a date. I can give them a a title. So support, department, IT, John Doe. He needs a laptop, keyboard, mobile. Just give it NA, remote, NA, submit request. So you can see here it's made a request. It's provided us all the details. Later on I'm going to make it a nice formatted form, but I just haven't got around to that yet. So it's now raised, ready for the technicians to get to. Okay, articles. These are used for user self-help and then technicians as well. So we can go into our article here. It's about how to change your password. It has some tags to improve searchability, and it's got the steps here. On the right hand side we have a few options. So we have related guides under the account category and other topics. Finally we have settings. So settings is kind of the core. Later on it's going to be built out, so we will have a number of settings down here. You can search for related settings. So in my case I'm going to go in ticket template. In here we have a number of templates configured already, just as an example. So I'll go into my new starter template. There's quite a lot going on here, but once you do start using it, it gets easier to use. So we have a few things such as I've locked the subject so they can't edit it. I've hidden the subject because it's auto-generated. So you can see here I use a placeholder. I've added a short text field asking for their full name. And this is the placeholder text within that field. And you can kind of build them out. So I've got a drop down for departments. I've got a checkbox for the equipment. I've got a long text field for a paragraph box. I've got choices, so they can only select one. And then there's a number of options down here to more stuff you can add. So such as a date, checkboxes. And then you also have the option to make it required or not required. Alright, that's about it for that. We have service categories. So categories is what we can assign a ticket once it's raised. So if it's a hardware fault, we'll give it hardware, and we'll drill down to a subcategory level, and we'll assign a desktop, laptop, or printer. I do have duplicate categories here just because I was testing. Yeah, that's about it. We can go back. We have mail server, so we can make it so users can email a mailbox. It will then raise the ticket. I won't show it in this example just because it's my personal email and I don't want to give it out. You can do email templates. They look quite complicated, but they aren't. They're built in HTML since that's what emails primarily use. In our case, it will look like this as a confirmation email. We have reply emails. Reply email, all you need to do is subject because it will use the body of your email that you build within the ticket. Then you have email signature. Email signatures are more for like organizations that have a defined signature. Alright. We also have Discord integration, so you can link it to a Discord bot. Users can then make tickets within Discord and that will show in the dashboard. Any changes made within the dashboard will show in the ticket as well. You have system alerts. So you can make an alert if you have downtime upcoming. You can choose between a few different designs, if it's permanent or between dates or from date. You then have some rules. Ticket validation, so should the ticket have a category before being able to close it, and so on. The statuses you can choose in tickets, the priorities, the impacts, and the urgencies. And the priority matrix just goes over how it's driven pretty much. We have SLA policies, so how long does staff have to respond to the user and then resolve the ticket based on priority. And then finally we have login providers. So login providers allows you to sign to the dashboard using different options. So by default it's email, but you can enable Google, Discord, and Microsoft. And down here we have guides on how to do it. And all of these links are dynamic, so they update based on what you've entered in your env file. And that is about it for Drako tickets. If you have any questions, do feel free to message me. And yeah, catch you in a bit.